Hello everybody, I'm Josh Pose and welcome to the Toss-Up. Super Bowl week is here and that can mean only one thing. Yes, college baseball season is just 1 week away. Right here in Bloomington, Jeff Mercer and his team are ready to make a run at their third NCAA tournament in 4 seasons. How will Indiana fare offensively without Devin Taylor? Can a new pitching coach revitalize the staff? And is Jake Hanley the most famous athlete to come out of Mason, Ohio? You gotta give us a shot. So grab your Sunday Reds, because you'll get all those answers and more on the Indiana Baseball edition of the Toss-Up. Hashtag IU Base is back in action next week, and here with me is a special group on the corner. We got returning IUSTV baseball beat reporter Ethan Bonner. Ethan, good to have you back. And in my middle infield right here, I mentioned it briefly, 2 members of the highly touted and never forgotten Sunday Reds podcast, Zach Browning, Ben Haller. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. We got baseball season around the corner.
Sunday Reds, that brings back good memories, and good memories of when Indiana baseball was making the tournament.
Yeah, it's exciting to have baseball back in Bloomington.
We need to get back to the NCAA tournament. We gotta make a move. I mean, we got a good class, so we'll see.
You've never seen one, so going right to you, Ethan, I think you saw the script right there. They didn't meet expectations last year on your first year on the beat. They missed the tournament for the first time since 2022. What went wrong that season?
You know, starting off 0-4 doesn't help, I'll say that. I think the pitching obviously was the biggest weakness, but we talked about before how they got a new pitching coach who has professional MLB level, which I think is very important, and they have a top 15 recruiting class, which consists of a couple of great pitchers. One of them, Blaine Metz, who has been absolutely outstanding. He's a top 20 recruit in the country. I think he's actually number 9. So I think that's the biggest weakness for them right now. In terms of hitting, I think they've been completely, they've been amazing. I mean, Devin Taylor, I know he's gone, but I think if they keep that up and improve the pitching with the new coaching staffs they have and the new pitchers to be able to develop them, I think they'll be great.
Zach, going to you, you just wrote a pretty good story, not behind a paywall, about how the football team shaped how the baseball team might be this season. Jeff Mercer said last week that this might be one of his most fun rosters outside of that 2020 team that got canceled because of COVID. Why do you think he feels that way?
I think it's just the collective cohesion of this group. They all love each other. They all love playing with and for each other, and I think that's really the biggest part of this team, whether it's the position players, the young guys coming in that just want to have a role on this team, or whether that's the older guys, their graduate transfers that are just looking to win because it may be their final year of college baseball. I think that has led to a collective group that is focused on one thing, and that is winning.
Glad you went back to 2020 with love each other, LEO.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and now, Ben, we're going to see him later on the show, Jake Hanley, the other guy from Mason, Ohio. He headlines the returning sophomores after just a stellar freshman season, not only from him, but from all of them. What makes that group so effective and so great for the future for Indiana baseball?
Well, I think when you look at Jeff Mercer and what he's kind of bread and butter is, it's that player development at Indiana, keeping guys, retaining guys, not using the portal too much. Now, I think one of the reasons that works is because he's been really good at getting guys experience as freshmen. We've seen it the last 3 seasons. Now, sometimes the tough part about it is you're transferring from your freshman to sophomore year, and you hit in the back of the lineup. Now you have to take that bigger role. Well, Jake already took the bigger role at the end of last year. He was hitting, 3rd, 4th in the lineup halfway through the season, through the end of the season. So I think being there to be that kind of even-keeled presence and somebody who just has a lot of raw talent. Was in the best summer league this past year, the Cape Cod Baseball League, where he got his butt kicked a little bit. I mean, he'll be the first one to tell you that. He struggled, but he faced the best pitching in college baseball, and I think now seeing that a little bit is going to help him moving forward.
Ben, back to you really quick. Matt Myers hired in late December, which is unusual for college baseball coaching and pitching coaching. How challenging is it for the staff and for him to adjust to one another?
I think what you're getting is a little bit the best of both worlds. So you look at the staff as a whole, maybe with the pitching, and I think someone has kind of been an unsung hero in all this is Denton Sagerman, moving up now to assistant coach for pitching and catching. He's been a big part of the staff for a while. Now moving into a bigger role, Sagerman's someone who is really good with the numbers, the analytics of everything in the pitching staff. Finally, you get someone with Matt Myers, to me, who is really a leader of people. He was a head coach in college baseball for a while. Roles reversed. It's a fun story. He was Jeff Mercer's head coach. Mercer was an assistant for Myers at Western Kentucky. So to have a couple guys on staff who have that head coaching experience, obviously with Mercer, is big.
Zach, going to you, same kind of topic with Myers. The Mercer and the players just rave about the attitude, the positive attitude that he shows up with every day. How good of a fit is he for this program?
Well, Josh, I think time will tell. No games have been played yet, so we'll see how good of a fit he actually is when games start to get underway. But I think when we go back to talking about the cohesion and the collective group that wants to just win, I think he fits right in with that because he's all about winning. He's all about the players and putting those players in the best possible position to be successful. He brings great energy. Everybody around the program has raved about his energy and the type of person that he is. So I think as far as the fit on the field, time will tell, but I think off the field, he's fit right in.
Ethan, we're going with that pitching theme here on this way around. It's been a weak spot for Indiana these last few years. Do you think that it could change this year, given all the new faces and the new coaches?
100%. I mean, when you it's not super common where you bring in someone who had a professional experience down to a collegiate level. And I think with the amount of talent that they have coming in and the amount of young guys that they have, I think bringing in someone who has worked in the MLB has a lot more knowledge and can provide that to their players. And not only that, I think the leadership that the past seniors, and even including Devin Taylor, who when we talked to Mercer, he was mentioning how Devin Taylor needs to show more of that leadership. I think that'll carry on towards those sophomores and freshmen, the underclassmen in general, and I think it'll really help overall.
Well, guys, we're going to hear from one of the players on the backside of this break. Then we're going to bring you guys back on for some rapid fire, so stay with us. So do you, wherever you may be. You're right there. Oh, you're right there. We're going to bring on Jake Hanley after the break. These guys will come back, but Jake Hanley coming up next. Welcome back. Joining me in studio is a special guest, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year in 2025, Indiana baseball sophomore slugger Jake Hanley. Jake, thanks for coming on. How are you tonight?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm glad to have you. We're just going to jump right into it here. You were a top prospect in you're now a top prospect for the 2027 MLB draft, but not too long ago you were a prospect in the 2024 draft. You decided to come to Indiana. What made you make that decision?
I was still young, so there was some uncertainty as to whether or not I'd be a pitcher or a hitter. That played a large part in teams not really knowing what they wanted out of me. And in all fairness, back then, compared to where I am now, skill-wise, I was a completely different player. Defensively, I was lacking skills that Merce has touched up on, and hitting is a completely different animal. So it made sense to go to college. I think by the end of summer school and coming here for that, that whole experience just made it that much easier to stick with Indiana.
You mentioned him right away, Jeff Mercer. He's been recruiting you all this time. He's probably known you since how long? Eighth grade, when you recruit you from then. What's that relationship been like from when you were in high school early on, then when you finally committed, and then now that you're here through a year plus?
I mean, it's been consistent. Throughout the recruiting process, all the way back from eighth grade, they were easily the most invested school. Every call with Merce was going on for about 20 minutes. And, I think in the end, like when choosing what school to go to, their investment was by far the number one thing that stood out. We talked with people that have forgotten my name and forgotten who I was, but they made the conscious effort to make that a priority for them. And the past 2 years here, I've had nothing but great things to say, and the entire coaching staff is like family.
Well, your first year was pretty darn good. I already mentioned Big Ten Freshman of the Year. You hit .333, 14 home runs, 52 RBI. Like I said, Big Ten Freshman of the Year honors. When did it click that you could have that breakout rookie season? Did it click before the season, during season, or what was it?
I mean, the mindset going into the year was to just know my role. There was a lot of experienced guys coming back and transfers. So beginning of the year, I was at the bottom of the lineup. I was like, okay, my job is to move a runner forward, take a walk, take what I can get. Not trying to hit 10 homers. If I do that, great, cool. But that wasn't the mindset going in, and I didn't hit a home run for the first month of the year, and just slapped singles the other way, and got some luck here and there. But I think once I got settled in, it made it a little bit easier to kind of adjust with how guys were pitching me, and saw that especially towards the end of the year, and had some rough patches here and there. But as long as the highs and lows stay pretty even, then you're bound for success.
So when you're moving up in the lineup, it got tougher. You're seeing the better pitchers. You're seeing the ace of the staff 3 times instead of 2 times.
Yeah, I know. You think you're buried down the lineup. You get a little more fastball, stuff like that. But our team does a great job of scouting the teams we're playing, and our scouting reports are extremely in depth. And without those, I don't know what kind of year we have, but I utilize those to the fullest extent.
You're part of a class now, sophomore class, that stood out both individually and just holistically as a group. That entire group of you guys that played almost every single day. How is that relationship with them going into college and then finally being able to play together?
It's been great. Summer school was kind of everyone getting to meet each other, and we had our ups and downs. We had a couple of guys that missed lift, me included, but doing all that stuff with them for 2 months here, just nobody else on campus and hanging out with each other. I think anybody coming here needs to do that. That's extremely important for building a bond with your freshman class. I know this class that we just got is super tight, especially this whole team. So team chemistry is a huge thing, and I felt like last year we had decent chemistry, but this year it's on a completely different level, and it makes it that much more fun to play with the guys you're around. And Merce made it a point of emphasis. Guys were going to play last year, freshmen. And, that held true. We had probably 7 or 8 guys get in the lineup at any certain time. So, just everybody knowing their role and knowing that this year they'd have a much bigger role than they had last year.
You were at first base last year. You spent the summer on the Cape trying to hone in on those skills. How has that been going in that process, just trying to get better at first base?
Really good. I think last year I made strides, but there were still some areas left, like my throwing accuracy and stuff like that. And this fall we've just been hammering defensive stuff constantly. Like it's every day is an hour of double plays, starting off different footing, making different throws that you don't normally make in a game. So should the opportunity ever come up, it's not going to really be an issue.
What's it like now that Corbin, Devin are gone, those leaders at the top of the lineup? Now they're in the MLB or in systems now. You're kind of the leader now. You said last week that you're not much of a vocal leader, but do you think that you can become that for this team?
I think so. I feel like in certain situations where something needs to be said, I think that's my time and place to step up. If it's maybe just talking to a guy off to the side rather than doing it in front of the whole team, I'll probably go that route. But I think Cooper and Will and those guys who are already established themselves in the infield as well are great leaders. TJ is an amazing leader, extremely vocal, basically runs the team almost from a catching perspective. And I think leading by example is the thing I do best, and I don't want to step into a role where maybe I'm not as certain on my position as I am normally. So just keeping a level head and leading by example and showing the other guys how to do it is probably the best way to go about it.
You think this team's closer than it was last year, just as a bond, as a group together?
I think so, yeah. We got a lot closer this fall and made a conscious effort from where we were lacking last year to improve. So it's a really close bond. I don't really know how else to describe it, but this team's really tight.
You guys are going to UNC, 3-game series. Then you guys have LSU, I believe, down in Jacksonville. How excited are you to have those measuring stick games early on?
Oh, sorry. Extremely. Not that we didn't have a lot of tough games last year, but we didn't get a whole lot of Power 5 conference opponents, or Power 4. We played Louisville and Oregon State, and I think from that aspect, that was really about it. Iowa was a really good series too, but we're getting our RPI up, and with that comes playing really good teams that normally we wouldn't face, and it's going to be from the jump, and we've had 12 inches of snow outside, so we haven't played outside yet, but I think what we're doing right now inside Mellencamp is getting us ready for what we're about to face. There's no stone left unturned with these teams, and they're pitchers, so we know what we need to know, and we're going to go out and compete our butt off.
Jake, last one before we let you go. I need your elevator pitch to be the top guy in Indiana baseball over Ben Haller. We already saw him earlier. We're going to see him soon. Top guy over Ben Haller from Mason, Ohio. I need it right now. Just give me 2 reasons.
There's no beating him. He's a Mason legend. He's been calling games for,
We don't need to boost his ego. You know that, right?
He doesn't have an ego. He's a great guy.
I don't know, but Jake, thank you for taking the time. We're going to have to figure out, because I think you're at the top. It's arguable. Thank you very much for taking the time. We'll be back with a little bit of pepper for the toss-up. Back here with Ben, Zach, and Ethan to wrap up the show with a little bit of pepper. Five quick questions that will be met with quick answers, or else you'll get that pitch clock violation. Everyone will have the same question. They'll have to answer the same question, that is, and give quick reasoning. Zach, really quick, how many wins out of the 4 does IU get against UNC and LSU in the first 2 weekends?
It's a tough start. I'll go with 1.
Ethan.
I'll go 2.
I'm the optimist. Give me 3. I think you're going down to North Carolina and playing a team that also has a lot of new pieces.
All right. Ethan, back to you. Will the home opener against Bradley be played on February 17th? Yes or no? Why?
No.
To answer like a magic 8-ball, the odds are against us.
Call me the optimist, but yes, it's the high of 50 at the end of next week. I don't know, we're trending up, and I just want to see some baseball. So maybe I'm delusional, but
Maybe a rain out, not a snow out.
we'll see.
Ben, I'm going to you, the Mason man. Jake Hanley, how many games does it take him to reach his home run total of last year?
So 14. Remember, he went about a month into the season without hitting one. I'm going to say it's an opposite start. He's going to mash to open up the year. I'm going to say it takes him about 25 games.
Pitch clock violation.
I had 25 games. No, I had 25.
Go
I
with
got
Zach.
it in.
I'm on the clock. I'll say 35 games.
I'll be more optimistic now. I'll go 22.
Oh, wow. Going quick. How many wins do you see for this team, and will it be enough for the tournament? Zach Browning.
35 to 40 wins, yes.
Ethan.
I'd say the same thing, but this year I think they have a better roster. I think they could go a little bit above 40.
I'm
Ben?
going to go 38 wins in a tournament appearance.
Okay, between 35 and 40. Last one. Will Jeff Mercer ever relinquish third base coaching duties, and what would need to happen for that? Ben.
He better not. He would not have to be a coach. I think he has to be in that third base box. So I see Weatherford at first, Mercer at third.
Zach.
Absolutely not. He's a self-proclaimed best third base coach in all of the country.
Ethan.
The amount of energy he brings, he's got to stay there.
He's going to go to the Ron Polk School of Base Coaching. That does it for the show this week. Be sure to continue the discussion and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at IUSTV Sports. With that, there's only one thing left to do. Toss it up, knock it out of the park. I don't know. Goodbye, home run. We'll see you next week.